Welcome back, everybody. It's Empire State Warrior. I'm going to make this a brief, short video. I'm not going to try to make this a long review. It's going to be a pretty short review, pretty quick. This is over the new Tier 6 Polish heavy tank. The tank itself is pretty good, but you have two main weaknesses. Number one, once it loads in, come on now, thank you. The turret seems pretty strong, right? If you switch to APCR in this tank with only 210 mils of pen, you can go right through that gun mantle, which is awful if you think about it. Not only that, give me a second, you don't have the best hold down capabilities because you only have around 7 to 8 degrees of gun depression, meaning you can't get into all the kind of stupid positions that you hopefully get into in a tank like this. But overall, the tank is pretty nice. Great side scraping ability, just don't over angle because that side armor is sort of weak. You have a pretty good gun, 6.7 second with 160 mils of pen with 225 alpha. That's pretty good. But yeah, the tank itself just is clunky? Is clunky the right word? But, yeah, you're about to notice something very strange. Look how long it takes to swap me. This tank is quick and has a decent camo for a tank that seems to be big and clunky. And it surprised me, too, when I first bought it. Because I was like, okay, this thing has a decent camo? And I'll check the camo afterwards, but it is a strange thing why a tank like this has such a decent camo rating. Now, I really didn't like the tank at first, simply because I didn't have the good engine or the good gun. The stock gun, it seems nice. 150 pen with 220 alpha. Seems pretty good for a stock gun, right? Don't get that into your head. Don't. The penetration seems good until you realize everything's been buffed lately. So you can't pen anything with 150 mils anymore. Not only that, the gun is so inaccurate, you couldn't hit anything if you wanted to. You couldn't hit anything if you wanted to. It is that terrible in accuracy. Now, this gun is literally twice the accuracy in terms of able to hit stuff, and it is just better DPM and overall generation of penetration. It's just so much of a better gun. Now, I think there's only one other problem I have with the tank, is that even in good positions, it seems to me that the tank can only perform same tier level and can perform decently well against tier 7s, like I'm going to show here, but it performs better tier 5 and tier 6. And there's very few tanks that perform well at tier 6, 7. That's a tier 6. I think the most notable, in my opinion, is the VK36.01H. That tank performs incredibly well at pretty much every tier that it plays in, 5, 6, and 7, just because it's such a good tank. The Hellcat is another example of being able to play at pretty much any tier. And this tank can play decently well at this tier, but it's like the ARL. It's kind of iffy on the tier thing. The tier spread is kind of 5, yes, very good against tier 5, pretty good against tier 6s. Struggles a little, no, not struggles a little bit, it struggles quite a bit against tier 7. And that's pretty much every tier 6 tank. Now, having missed half of this game because I've been trying to explain the tank in a more fashionable manner, the maxed out gun only has 225, which is only 5 more than the original, but it has the same reload and DPM as the ARL, but the accuracy is better. It seems like the shell velocity is just as good, and the armor overall on the turret is better, but the whole armor is weaker. But it does have stronger side armor, making it quite a bit better in terms of overall statistic-wise, in my opinion. But as I said, it seems kind of clunky. Pretty easy to hit because it's not very small. It's kind of a big tank. For its tier, it's a decent-sized tank. That's all I'm going to get at. Ignore that, just my AC starting up in my dorm. Of course, another tier 6, 7 game, and I'm going to explain it now. This tank can side scrape like a mofo. I'm about to show you exactly why I say this. This is a tier 6 tank. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see a lot of bounces coming from the Tiger 1 and the T-29 trying to shoot this tank. In fact, even the other tier 6 40 TP is going to bounce me quite a bit. Simply because he can't find a place to pen because I was in a perfect side scraping position. The tank is just built like that. It's built to bounce shells in a side scraping position. But as you see, it has a cupola on that left-hand side. Yeah, it's painful. People can hit it, but it's difficult. I'm pretty sure it was stock engine during this game, too. And looky there. First bounce of the game. And he goes right off the side of my turret. That's a pretty good shot. And as you see, the gun is good. And this was before I was fully maxed, too. Yeah, see, 7.1 seconds. I was before max. And see, you can shovel back and forth and you can get bounces. Now, it takes me a while before I realize that the Tiger 1 is not going to push. He doesn't want to push. He's going to sit back there, content and happy in that little camping spot. And I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be a patient man. And I'm going to be like, okay, let's just wait. Let's see what he does. I really don't like enemy players like this because they think they're just going to be able to sit there and wait for their team. But when you're down 7-5, you're a top tier tank. You might want to find something better to do. And of course, I'm there to make him pay. Now, as you've seen, the gun is really nice. That is the best part about this tank, is the gun. That 225 alpha doesn't seem like much, but it can do quite a bit in a scenario where it shouldn't be able to. And as you see, it being quick and just accurate enough to get shots out. It's a good solid tank. Already at 1500 now because this guy's just deciding to peek. And he's going to pen that time. But I didn't really look to see where he penned that time. Oh yeah, I did. He hit right through that upper plate. Yeah, you have a really flat upper plate there. You see that? That's really relatively flat, and he can go through pretty easily. Now, I noticed that the 40 TP Habicha is in the open, so I'm going to make him pay. And then he bounces again, and I max roll him. Of course, I'm going to get penned by the T-29 in a second. Yeah. And the Tiger 2 pens me. Tiger 1 pens me. That got rid of a lot of HP. I'm going to tell you now. This T-29 doesn't pen me again. Yeah, the armor works. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me how that penned. And don't ask me why he's ignoring me now. I'm a one-shot pretty much to him as well. But you can see what's happening. I'm pretty much just farming up damage. Habicha, dead. Well played, AMX. You helped me this game quite a bit. Shout out to the AMX 1375, I mean. He did very well. I'll make a pretty bad shot here. Yeah, if I would have aimed, if I would have let a little bit longer, I probably could have got a shot in. Tiger 1, how did you bounce? That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Now, he pens that next one. But as you've seen, I shouldn't have bounced half of those shots. I shouldn't have. I should not have bounced half of those shots that came at me. T-29 bounced me twice. I shouldn't have bounced. The Tiger 2 bounced me twice. Shouldn't have bounced him. The Habicha, yeah, I can understand him bouncing a few shells. Simply because the armor on this tank does indeed work. Now, as I said, the armor is decent. The turret's pretty good at 160, but like I said, if you switch to premium and you aim for the gun mantlet, you can just go right through. Pretty simple. The sides of the turret's pretty good at 80 millimeters, meaning that if you angle the turret a little bit, you can actually get some troll bounces because of the sharp angle that it's at. The side armor, like I said, is not the greatest, only being at 60, and the frontal hull is only at 110, so the only place you can get really a true bounce is on that frontal angled part here. The lower plate's really weak, and that upper partial plate is really weak as well. Let me see. What's another thing about this tank? Your view range is really good. 271 meters. That's incredibly good for a tank like this. Your concealment is freaking good. You have 33% camo rating. That is insane for a tank like this. Your damage per minute is 2,004, which is pretty nice. 6.7 second. With 160 millimeters of pen on the standard, 210 on the premium, and 45 on the HE shell. 225, 190, and 270 respective. The aiming time at 4.1 and the dispersion at 0.344 is not the best, but not the worst. Yeah, 8 degrees gun depression, not the best. I'm going to tell you now. Top speed's really nice, being at 40, and the reverse is only 12, but the average speed is 27. Power to weight's pretty decent at 13.1. It weighs 40 tons, meaning that if you ram something, you're going to do quite a bit of damage. The turret is kind of slow, but the whole turn is not bad for such a heavy tank, being at 37 degrees a minute, I mean. And, yeah, the horsepower, it's not the best, 526. Now, I'm ready for this one. I'm going to tell you why. The whole armor being at 110, but like that, oh, that is an improvement, ladies and gentlemen. And the turret is insane, and the tank is, it's quick. Now, this gun actually intrigues me. 290, same as the Leo, but you have way better pen. And your DPM is really nice as well. So I'm really ready for that tank. But my opinion on this tank, there's only 2 tanks I can compare it to at this tier. And I already have one in my garage, but I sold the other one because I just dislike the ARL because the gun seems to be extremely inaccurate. But the first one is, of course, the VK3601H, which is a favorite to 90% of the early starters. Because they want this to get to the next tank in line, the Tiger 1. Because everybody wants it. And this tank, it just seems to be in the way, and it is such a strong tank. The only reason this thing is stronger is because the frontal hull is way stronger and the turret's stronger. But the gun isn't as good. The gun on this tank is better than the gun on the VK3601H. But only by a little bit. Only by a little bit. If I truly maxed out this tank's aim time and dispersion, it'd be the exact same. And the armor on this tank on the front's not as good. It has pretty much, it's faster. This tank is faster than the VK, which says something. This tank is pretty damn fast. And it is smaller, meaning it is a harder target. And that cupola is not as noticeable. It can be hit, but it's not as noticeable. I don't believe this tank could be a tournament tank, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it just be, like, tested out in a tournament. So watch out for that. And my win rate in this is only 68% because I was stock. I'm going to warn you, this stock gun seems good. 150 pen, 220 alpha, pretty standard, it looks pretty nice. The accuracy and dispersions are lies. This gun performs so much better in terms of accuracy that it's insane. Like, same stats on paper, but in gameplay, in practice, the gun is worse. In every aspect. I don't know why they did that, but it is. And I honestly would suggest getting it. And when I get the chance, I may run Tier 6 tourney in this to test its tournament capabilities. Like, it honestly could be a tournament tank. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm sorry that it took so long to get on the video, but I was actually waiting on this update, and it took way longer than I was expecting. So, be expecting a 45 TP, a 53 TP, a 50 TP, and a 60 TP video. The one I'm prepared for is this one, though. Oh my god, I'm so ready for this tank. This tank just looks gorgeous, and for so many reasons. Oh, it just looks gorgeous. Anywho, once it's maxed, it just looks phenomenal. And I'm ready for it. Anywho, hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. I don't give a fuck. And if you have any suggestions of tanks you want to see be done videos over, please don't be afraid to hit me up. I'm very willing to go back and do videos of them. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later.